Live from the Haymaker Network studios in beautiful Frisco, Texas, it's the first one-star Cowboys podcast Jerry Awards. Now here's your very funny host, Kevin KT Turner.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Jerrys. I'm Kevin Turner, a host of the One Star Cowboys podcast, and we're all here at the Haymaker Network studios in Frisco, Texas for this momentous occasion. It's so momentous that I actually wrote an intro, which I never do. Tons of celebrity big names are in the house tonight. We all read The Athletic this year, right? Yeah, we did. John Machota is here. John's on Twitter so much that he tried to quote tweet his waiter at dinner last week. Over there grokking his brains out. Give it up for John. Saad Youssef is here. Saad has watched The Office so much that Jim actually turns and looks at him instead of into the camera.
That's
hey,
better.
Man, watch the paper.
Yeah, that was better.
No, right.
That was a good one.
This was all written 3 minutes ago. Not a lot of thought put into it. And then we have Kent Garrison, who produces this thing. Kent also hosts the Mad About Movies podcast, so give it up for that.
Oh, thank you.
Kent's seen so many movies.
No applause whatsoever.
Kent's seen so many movies this year, even the bad ones. But he's a soldier. He fights through. He views it as one battle after another.
I thought you were going to say my insurrection for a second. But
Yeah, Kent's such a big player in the film industry that Harvey Weinstein's jealous of him.
Okay, all right.
Watch your back, Kent.
We were acquaintances.
All right,
That's it.
let's get to the Jerrys. And sorry for all of that, whatever that was. The first category.
I'm going to share all my thoughts on that on Truth Social after this show and just talk about how awful you were.
Okay.
Terrible.
Well, I'm going to repost it on Grindr.
Okay.
The Cowboy Quote of the Year is our first category. And here are our nominees. March 13th, 2025, Super Bowl participant DeMarcus Lawrence.
You know, Dallas is my home. I made my home there. You know, my family lives there. You know, I'm forever going to be there. But, you know, I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there. So, yeah. We here.
We here. There's your first nominee. Our second nominee is going to be from our new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer. It's a question that you asked, John, before a 325 game. You were asking him about the sun at AT&T Stadium because of the
Well, you know, I've been here for a little while, and I've heard about it. You know, hey, look, we really do. I mean, you know, if you guys could see the process and plan that we have in place to figure it out. I mean, we have satellite imaging, we have pictures of the sun when it's coming down, and so there's a big plan and a process. But I think when you look historically at what's happened, it really hasn't affected, you know, many situations, and we plan for it. The opponents plan for it, but at the end of the day, it's something that we're aware of, and it's very beautiful. It's majestic almost when the sun comes through there. So
that's a good answer. Honestly.
My favorite is it hasn't affected, and then he started thinking about it, many situations, because it has affected situations. Can't deny it.
I thought, first of all, I do want to see the satellite imaging. Like post it like an
3D
expecting
model. Yeah,
like an expecting couple post their sonogram. Just show us I would love to see it. But
they got the VR headsets. They're walking around the stadium and like, oh, can't be in this corner of the end zone at 4:07.
They kind of know. They can't say that it's. Well, I mean, maybe he doesn't feel that way. Maybe he really, truly doesn't feel like it's a problem.
I mean,
but just
even if he did, he wouldn't say that. I mean, think back to what Jason Garrett and his answers. You know, Jerry's listening to all that stuff, or he's going to know about what you said. You're not going to cross him on the podium.
And not only is he know that Jerry's listening, this is something that Jerry's been very defensive about. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd say over the last 5 years, that might be the most fired up he's been after in a post game being asked a question over and over again when the sun impacted. I don't know if it was CeeDee Lamb or it was another receiver, and he got real fired up when he kept getting asked about it. And he's so dug in on it that's another thing. Like he's very protective of it. He's so dug in that I'm not changing. I obviously have curtains. I put them up for every other event, but I'm not putting them up for our games because I like the way that it looks. And I'm not going to tell you that I was wrong, but I was wrong, but I'll never admit it. And so as long as I'm around, we will never put those curtains up.
And also, it's not just about how much he's been asked about it. Last year, after that Philadelphia game, he wasn't even asked about it, and he started walking away and came back to the media, to the reporters, and started talking about it and ignited that conversation himself. So you know that's something he feels very strongly about.
It wasn't like a good in-depth answer, though, from Shoddy, because that was like one of the, I would say first time. That was a fastball you threw at him right there. But he was, I think, ready for it. Probably. He had to know that was coming at some point. The thing I mean, this happens every year, is just the fans who are sitting in the section. They paid a lot of money. They're in the lower bowl and just blinded by the light. And
It's awful.
And they're tweeting about it.
I've been sitting there for Arkansas A&M, and it was awful.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, as a Cowboys fan, if you're there and you spend a lot of money for those seats, how frustrated you'd be. And then it's also impacting the play on the field. And then you also know that it's never going to change. So I think that's a big factor in as well. Well, at least in Jerry's lifetime, it won't change.
But Tom Brady got a good picture out of it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Tom loves it.
Yeah, Tom loves it.
And then our last Cowboy quote of the year, and keep in mind, there will be a separate category for Jerry later on. So also goes to Brian Schottenheimer with this take on George Pickens and his practice habits. When he said that George Pickens doesn't always love Wednesdays and Thursdays, which I thought was fine. It was fine. And it won't affect anything to do with the George Pickens situation now. Dak, how about him at the Pro Bowl? Speaking to the media, basically saying, we got one contract we need to get done. I thought for Dak that was kind of extreme because Dak doesn't say a lot and put himself out there too much.
I disagree. I thought a lot of stuff that Dak said was the same stuff he said to us at the end of the year about George, and if he needs to talk to Jerry or whoever, he will. So, maybe people were. I mean, I wrote about it because I was asked if I would, so I did, but I didn't think that his answer was that much different than what he said at the end of the season. So he obviously wants him back.
Of course.
Yeah.
Pickens was
It's not his money.
10 feet away as well.
Yeah.
When he said that. But it was good. All right, who's your vote for Cowboy Quote of the Year?
Can I give an honorable mention?
Please.
We don't vote, but I think when I was thinking about which quote kind of was most jarring for me, it's not even like a quote, and this might not be number one, but this is the moment that came to mind, was when at the training camp press conference, Jerry Jones just said, frankly, should we have waited on Diggs and Steele? And I just remember going like, is that real? Like, did he really just unprompted throw two of his players who are on big contracts and are going to be starters on each side of the ball this year? He just threw them under the bus like that. It was really weird. And yeah, I don't know that, the quote itself is that, but just the context of everything, talking about Micah, and you just bring up Diggs and Steele and just run the bus right over them. That was a crazy quote for me.
And they both responded well. They played really well this year. So he lit that fire, and they responded.
Terrence Stiltley showed up every week, right?
You could make the argument that they both heard that, and that affected their confidence greatly, because I don't know that either had a worse season. So,
well, we'll add that to the mix. I like that. So there's your four nominees. So is that your vote, son? That one?
Sure, I'll give that my vote.
Yeah, all right.
I'll give that my vote.
What about you, John?
The sun.
The sun.
Just because I asked the question.
Kent?
Yeah, majestic sun.
It is the majestic sun. When he said satellite imaging.
He said majestic. He sealed it. Yeah.
But I also like the idea of spending time on it. Like it's, geez, I just don't know. Is the sun going to be out today? Like it's like this, like it's a lunar eclipse.
Satellite imaging.
Like there's a good chance, it's a 3:25 game. There's going to be an hour window where the sun probably impacts the game at some point. And you've played in that situation more than anyone else, so it probably should be to your advantage. I don't want to stick up for Jerry too much here. But I would say that it was just funny how lengthy the answer was.
Yeah.
Yeah, just on a nerdy standpoint from that answer, I really found it fascinating that whole week and everything where we went and talked to Dak and all that kind of stuff about which quarter do you want, how does it affect the coin toss? Which quarter do you want to be going into the sun versus going against the sun? Is it better for the quarterback to be looking into the sun versus the receiver? I thought all that dialogue was really fascinating, and I personally, just as a football nut, learned a lot. And then come playoff time, when Sean Payton is giving up a field goal in the first half, I kind of went back to that quote where I'm like, did you not look at the forecast and know that the snow was going to be coming down the second half and you need to take these easy 3 points? So I think it did enlighten me about just the NFL and the preparation that coaches do have to go through. So that was a good one.
Cowboys fans get annoyed when I've tweeted or talked about this, but name the game. Where's just that game that's just fresh at the top of your mind? We're like, 2017, Bills. That's the game that they lost because of the sun. Like, there really isn't a game. Now, it's silly, and they should have the curtains up, but there is really not, for as many times as it's been a storyline, there really aren't any games I can think of where I was just like, man, they win that game if not for the sun.
Yeah, there's handfuls of plays.
100%.
There's a handful of third downs over the years, John.
Sure.
That Jason Witten would have to address. Was the sun in your eyes? Yeah,
Right.
It was in my eyes. I couldn't see it. He would admit it.
I guess where I'm coming from on it, and it will make sense when I say this, but 325 games, it's putting you right around end of second quarter, maybe early third. And these games are decided in the fourth quarter. And of a 325 game, it's always dark out by that point. So that's why I don't think it has had the impact. Or to your point, kind of, if it was falling in a time where in the last 3 minutes of the game it was, then yeah. But I'm just telling you from a reporter standpoint, being in the locker room after a lot of those games, when those questions are being asked, there is a part of me where I'm like, I get it, that has to be asked about it, or the player might bring it up. But in my head, I'm like, yeah, that was like the third quarter, or like the second quarter. Like, what about these 4 plays in the fourth quarter that are really what decided this game,
Yeah.
And so that's when
it looks bad on social media. I think the clip that's gone viral is Jerry talking about the sun, and then it cuts to CeeDee Lamb running across the back of the end zone. And right when he runs into the sun patch, the ball comes in, and it just goes right by him. Like, he doesn't even see it at all,
It is crazy.
But there is also a part of me that's like, well, why are you even throwing it there? Like, how do you not know?
Yeah,
like,
satellite
are we
imaging.
the only ones that can see the sun? Like, as it's just so bright that the players can't see it on the field? And
it puts a quarterback at a disadvantage because his back's to it.
No doubt. And I'm not saying it hasn't impacted plays.
Yeah.
That would be foolish to say that. I'm saying in terms of impacting entire games. And I get it, and it is fun, and I love tweeting out screen grabs when they go to commercial and they have it where you can't even see the player's face because the sun is covering up their their entire face mask. I get all of that, but also the most iconic image is the Tom Brady one.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to say that.
And it is. But also the other thing is, and this is not to Schottenheimer specifically or anything, but any coach that's coached the Cowboys during this time, I feel like you should have something on your play sheet that is about like that specific situation. Like, you have goal line packages, you have 2-point conversion. Don't even put your quarterback in a position. Maybe that's when you're running the ball outside zone, inside, whatever, screen passes. You're going side to side. Maybe that's when you're doing those plays. I think when I think of a coach like Belichick, for example, or something, throughout the years, I always remember Belichick always making weather and situations, because New England in the playoffs would play in the cold and the snow, and Manning would have to come up there, and they would have specific plays for those situations and those games. And I feel like that can almost be an advantage sometimes if you play it right. Again, not defending it. I do think that it shouldn't be a factor, but if you are in that, I do feel there are ways to turn that around.
And the sun has never been anywhere even close to as impactful as that weather was in Denver.
Jimmy Johnson checking the cleats in the NFC.
Well, no,
championship game.
certainly San Francisco in those NFC championship games. Obviously, that was a mess that they played on. But I'm going off of just something this season.
Yeah.
Because, you don't see fields like that really anymore, like that San Francisco one was during that game.
Yeah.
But you do see the elements being a factor to where it's like it's hard to even throw something out into the flat. So don't put me in a spot where I have to defend Jerry, but I guess that's where I'm at right now.
Don't you think it would have benefited Denver to be wearing white in that game? Because
I don't know how much it benefits anyone just because you couldn't really even complete a forward pass.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but New England in the all white, I thought
they were blending in perfectly.
Like, it was just, but that's on TV, so I don't know how it looks for the quarterback on the field, but on TV, they were blending in quite a bit.
Let's move on. Got a lot of nominees for this category. Cowboy Play of the Year. Week 4. versus the Packers. It's 37-37 in overtime. Dak's rolling to the right, and then he yeets it up to Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert made the list, guys. Keeps his feet in at the 5. Kind of looked like the Jared Cook play, if you remember that one. Is there anything specific you remember about that? Or did I just kind of lay it out there for you?
No, I don't remember the Jared Cook play. It's the closest the Cowboys have making the NFC Championship game in the last probably 30 years. But no, explain the Jared Cook play to
I was
me a
talking about the
little
Jalen Tolbert play.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think people won't remember it.
Oh, I got you.
I felt like I remember in real time I thought he was throwing the ball away.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching it live in person, and I thought he was throwing the ball away. I didn't think he was throwing it to Jalen Tolbert.
Week 7, Deron Bland pick 6 off Marcus Mariota. That made the list of Cowboys Play of the Year candidates.
Don't even remember that happened.
All right, we'll take it off. Week 9 versus
I
Arizona.
remember it because it was more of a, Mariota, what are you doing? I want to even say he might have thrown that in the sun.
Arizona.
Go back and look at that one.
Oh, that was a
you're right,
Washington
you're right.
game?
It was
That
Washington game,
we
AT&T.
said.
Yeah.
Point shaving.
Could be point shaving. Let's look into that. We'll get back to you.
Okay, Rick Barnes. Week 9 versus Arizona. Sam Williams punt block leads to the Marshawn Nealon touchdown. And then trade deadline, bye week. Week 12, Cowboys Eagles. It's 21-21. I can't believe that Elijah Clark made it, but he hits the punt returner, and then the long snapper Trent Sieg comes down and makes the recovery. That was a huge play.
Yeah.
Okay.
It felt like it meant something at the time, too.
Yeah. There's just one obvious one that you've said so far. All these are far behind it. But
Really?
go on. Yeah.
You think that one's okay?
Yeah.
Week 12 versus the Eagles. To tie the game and complete a 21-0 comeback, George Pickens, Thanksgiving Day hurdle over Trent McDuffie.
That was good.
That's better.
That was the game of the year, though, for sure.
I think, I don't know if I'm in the same area
don't know
as
about that,
John,
but-
but you got the player right that I'm thinking of, at least for the play of the year.
And Dak to Turpin Christmas Day for 86 yards on Netflix.
Yeah, that's not doing it for me either. Sorry.
So what have we left out here?
You didn't leave anything. I'm just saying the one that you said is just so far ahead of all
Okay,
the
this
others.
is your vote then? You're voting for the Jalen Tolbert kid?
No question.
Yeah.
This isn't the
really?
Packers. Yeah, this isn't the Packers at the end of the season. This is the Packers, like, if you take yourself back at that time, they absolutely look like they would be the team that's going to the Super Bowl. And for them to be playing with their food against that Cowboys team, and for it to even to go to overtime, you know, did they have Kraft still at that game, or did they lose? No, they did have Tucker Kraft in that game.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean, that was a different Packers team than what we saw during that last month of the season. And so I was stunned that they were even hanging in there. And I get it. It's a tie. They had chances to win, but I don't think they even have a chance to tie without that play. That was insane. That's one of the best plays of Dak's career.
Okay, I'm going to vote for the Sam Williams punt block and the Marshawn Leon touchdown because it feels like we don't get a lot of punt blocks over the years either. What about you, Saad?
I forgot which game it was exactly. The Tolbert one is great for the situation and everything, but there was a George Pickens play where it was a drag across the left side of the field, and he just had the ball. He was carrying it like a loaf of bread.
Pretty sure that was at Carolina.
Was that
Yeah.
one? Yeah, that play was.
Yeah.
To me, just if I'm again situationally, I agree the Tolbert one, but it just in sheer mouth, just jaw on the ground.
Yeah.
100% agree with you on that. As an individual play, that was the one, and it definitely was in Charlotte. I remember that play big time. I thought for sure, like the way that things were going there, I was like, "There's no way they're losing this game," which is how he stepped up in that game. But then they did. So,
What about you, Kent?
Dak Prescott's touchdown to Kevontae Turpin in the Pro Bowl.
Okay, I didn't even know that happened. I
You
did
didn't
not
see that? Oh, dude.
I didn't know Pro
it was
Bowling.
very intense. Kevontae Turpin was playing with his glasses on. It was that type of
Oh
an
my
intense
God.
game. Micah Parsons was driving around on a motorized scooter all over the field. It was just real high level competition. You're going to want to go back and watch that.
Honestly, my vote is Trent Sieg, punt return. I mean, fumble recovery.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Great play, swung the game, gave the Cowboys a little bit of hope there in the division. Yeah, it's nice.
But we end up with Jalen Tolbert getting the win here. Week 4, the tie against the Packers for your
Also-
play of the year.
Also, shout out to Brendan Aubrey. The fake field goal was a good.
The fake
Good.
field goal, I should have probably added that, honestly.
Yeah,
that
that was
was a
good.
lot of fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't have voted for it just because it wasn't that consequential
Yeah.
or anything. It was a cool play though.
Worst play of the year. 4 nominees here.
Jalen Carter spitting on Dak was pretty high on that play list, too. That was an
was a
important play
big
in
one.
that game. Sorry, go on.
We do start with that game. CeeDee Lamb drop week 1 versus the Eagles. I know there were multiples, but there's the one big one.
Yeah.
As he was working back towards the number, towards the hash.
Yeah.
And, the Cowboys win that game if he catches that ball.
Yeah.
I do believe that. Javonte Williams fumble week 3 versus Chicago.
That was bad. Got marble ride.
Yeah, they probably get run by the Bears that game either way.
Yeah, the biggest play to me in that game was CD injury.
Oh, yeah.
I think that game, I'm not saying that the Bears don't still win, but that's a close game all the way down to the end if you have CD Lamb out there.
I do have another.
They need to run him more out of the backfield, but sorry, go on.
I have another play from that game.
I think I know.
The
Trayvon?
Well, no, this is the Luther Burden flea flicker, where it was kind of a bad flea flicker.
Yeah, I want to say Trayvon was in coverage on that.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 'cause
we
I
get
remember them
smoked
just
on that.
explaining it like it was just like, hey, he just slipped. It just went.
Yeah, that's the one
No
I'm talking
big
about,
deal,
down
it
the
just
left
slipped.
sideline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There kind of could have been a whole category of Trayvon plays, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to kill the man.
Fair.
And then I snuck this one in because I did rewatch it because it's kind of crazy. The Daniel Bellinger Week 18 touchdown. Just because the Giants are running trick plays on you, and it's just like, can we just get the season over with? So I threw that in there for fun. I'll vote first this time. The CeeDee Lamb drop week 1. That is my play for worst Cowboy play of the year. What about you, Kent?
I have a write-in vote for just the entire Russell Wilson game because he didn't have a career like the next week.
No, that's
So
that's a good point.
They gave up like 400 yards to him and made him look like a Super Bowl
A
champion.
lot of Malik Neighbors sneaking behind the defense.
Wandale Robinson.
All right, Saad.
Of the ones that you said, I would say definitely the Luther Burden one. That was the one for me. Again, I have another play that I'm just going to mention. I'm going to vote for the Luther Burden one, but I don't even know what game it was, who scored the touchdown, but it was just that when Kenneth Murray filled the wrong hole, and that
that's going to be hard to whittle that one down. We're going to have a lot of tape
Might
we got to
come
go
up
through.
later.
it was just
You're going to
like
have to be a little bit more specific here.
That's true. It was just so bad. It was honestly, Kenneth Murray does have a whole category. Another
Is that
one.
the Jets game?
It may have no. It was later in the season. It
Yeah.
was when Kenneth Murray went to the right, and the running back just went untouched through the middle from like the 2-yard line. The other Kenneth Murray one though was the second that one of the players for the Cowboys, I forgot who it was, went out of the game, or maybe they got a penalty or something, and Patrick Mahomes just immediately the next play went to the player who's being covered by Kenneth Murray for a touchdown.
And John, your vote?
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb for sure. I mean, it goes like the same thing I said about the Tolbert thing, just the impact it had. Like, if he makes that, I agree with you. I think they win that game. And to start that season, 1-0, beating the defending Super Bowl champs in Philly. I remember when that game came out on the schedule, you were like, they're not going to have a chance in this game. And then Jalen Carter spit on Dak, and all of a sudden you're like, they might have a chance in this game. But just that magnitude of that, I agree with you. I think that they win that game. And then you start out 1-0, and obviously an important division win over the team that obviously went on to win the division. It's tough to look past that one, and I agree with Kent on the Russell Wilson thing to a certain extent, just because they talked after the game, especially Brian Schottenheimer, knowing Russ, that nobody throws a better deep ball, and it just was funny to see like a week later he loses his job like to a rookie.
One more, just not just a write-in type thing. Deron Bland against Marvin Harrison Jr. on the goal line when CeeDee Lamb couldn't believe what he just saw.
Yeah.
Just on a sheer one play, just being a terrible look for a guy that you just signed to a big contract. And Marvin Harrison was riding bust category all season long. And just for that to happen with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback.
Yeah, when your teammates are reacting to that, that's never good. But congratulations to CeeDee Lamb and the week 1 drop. Best newcomer. I have 6 candidates here. Brian Schottenheimer, George Pickens, Javonte Williams, Jadeveon Clowney, Quinnen Williams.
It's actually a pretty good pretty good selection there.
Yeah, this is a little tighter than you think. I think George Pickens is probably the Vegas odds to win this because he statistically made himself a top 10 wide receiver in football, which we were not talking about him in that way coming into this year.
Also because I think the expectation coming into the season was that he'd be a really good number 2 complement to CD, but then CD got hurt, and then he became a really good number 1. And so I think that really helps his case. I think Javonte Williams had a really good season. I just wonder if our glasses are a little too fogged based on what we saw the previous year, and if we're holding him to a higher regard just because of how bad it was last year. And then the other one that I would say is Jadeveon Clowney, for not to even be in training camp and just come off the street and have the impact that he had. I thought he was really good. And then one right-in person that I would say, because you mentioned Schottenheimer, so it's not just players, I thought Clayton Adams was really impactful this year, and the way that, he helped the offense take shape and stuff. I think Clayton Adams deserved at least a mention.
No, a vote for Clayton Adams. We would put that under the Schottenheimer umbrella.
Yeah.
And give that a vote. Is that your official vote, or what would your vote be?
It has to be Pickens, I guess.
John?
It has to be George Pickens. Saad covered all of that. I'll just point to going forward. It wouldn't surprise me, though, if it ends up being Quinnen Williams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He came in a very bad time. Obviously, he's traded at the deadline. Dumpster fire situation on defense, and then Marshawn Nealon passes right before they even get a chance to play a game. And I think if you put him into, let's say, the Packers defense when the season started, like Quinnen Williams, he made the Pro Bowl coming over from one dumpster fire to another defensively. And I just don't think he had a chance to fully show what he is, and I think he will going forward, and especially on such a bad defense. I think he could be a huge part of that, and I don't see him going anywhere for the next few years, where I don't really think George is either, but at least there's a little bit more in flux there because of the whole contract situation. But in terms of just this season, yeah, it's George Pickens.
What about you, Kent?
I agree.
Same. All right. Unanimous. George Pickens. You can celebrate with a new contract. Most valuable player, Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, Javonte Williams, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. There you go. Quinnen Williams, too. But I don't know if he was, was he your best defensive player? He played for half the season. I don't think anyone on defense should be considered for this. So there you go. Most valuable player. Fire off. I'll put Aubrey in there if you want to have some fun. But.
Oh, there you go.
No, to me, it's Dak. Pickens had a great season, but does he have that season with what quarterback should I throw under the bus here?
Will Grier.
We don't want to do that.
Russell Wilson.
I was going across the
Justin
Milton.
Fields, the guys that he had last year.
Justin Fields.
I'm trying to think of someone I don't like.
Duck Hodges.
No, Russell Wilson's cool. Yeah, if he had Russ, I don't know, but even him, though, in a bad situation, I could just see him chucking it up to him and him having some decent numbers. So, but I think Dak was a big part of that as well. And if CD doesn't get hurt, who knows what kind of season that they might have had. And so it all starts with him. I do think that with that offense, I think Joe Milton could have some success, but nowhere near the level that Dak has. And it's funny because I did this podcast the other day talking about, the Steelers getting Mike McCarthy. And I was asked about the impact Mike McCarthy had on Dak Prescott. And I was like, I just got to be honest with you, covering his entire career in Dallas, yeah, Mike McCarthy was great for Dak, and Shoddy's been great for Dak, and Jason Garrett was great for Dak, and Kellen Moore was great for Dak, but at some point, it's also Dak.
Yeah.
Dak is if you can't get along with Dak and you can't work with Dak, that's on you. He sets it up. Now, are there plays that maybe he's left on the field in January to not get them over the top? Of course. He would be the first to tell you that there's certainly more things he can do. But over this last decade, who hasn't he got along with? And if he has, and there has been an issue, to me, it's been more on that other player. And so, everything pretty much starts and ends with him. So it's not real close to me. It's Dak.
Yeah, for me, it's Dak as well. And going back to even the play of the year category, I thought one of the most iconic plays of the season was the Dak touchdown run to tie the game.
No question.
And just to see the way teammates even react to him and all that kind of stuff. And then put on top the season that he had and the numbers and everything. For me, it's easily Dak.
I read The Athletic, clearly, but there was an article on ESPN that they did, Seth Walder did, and it was basically the top 100 real MVP candidates. And he went through and did a lot of things looking at some metrics and stats and a lot of different things that he put into it, and he had Dak as the number 2, which a lot of people haven't Drake May and Matthew Stafford, but he had Dak as the number 2, like, real MVP.
And then even like with the metric stuff and all that, like, again, it does not factor in all the leadership, all the behind the scenes. And then the biggest one, again, going back to talking to a couple Steelers reporters, it's like Mike McCarthy is not going to have anything close to the situation he had in Dallas. I can't give you a comp. So you're going to have to comp it to more Green Bay because there's just so much more you have to deal with an owner and general manager that openly says when things slow down, I'm going to stir it up.
Yeah.
And so when you're the franchise quarterback who obviously has to speak as much, and let's be honest, Dak's word carries more weight than Brian Schottenheimer. It just does. Because Dak's been here for 10 years. He's the face of the franchise. He's the highest paid player in the NFL. What he does and what he says matters a ton, and it can always be overshadowed by something that Jerry says or does, whereas in 31 other organizations, he would just be the face of it and wouldn't have to deal with potentially anything negative. And I really think that he's navigated that like incredibly better than I think anybody else could have done.
No, that's a really great point about specifically navigating through Jerry, because think about how much Dak has been taken through the ringer with Jerry, having to play a year on a franchise tag, the first contract extension, the second contract extension. We saw how that cycle, how quickly it broke Micah in a year.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's just going through all that. And Dak kind of held up through all 3 cycles that he's gone through with the organization in that respect as well.
And I'm sure there's some great stories from Jerry's, investments, whether it be real estate or his involvement with oil and gas, that I'm sure there's been some times where someone got the best of him in a deal. But I'd love to hear what the comp is, because the Dak-Todd France combo, what they've done against him, like, I'd love to see if he's had any bigger losses than those two.
Least valuable player, Jonathan Mingo, Jaden Blue, Trayvon Diggs.
This isn't even close to me, but go on. Keep
Kenneth
going.
Murray Jr., and just for fun, Paris Campbell.
I mean, I feel bad for Kenneth Murray because of the fact that he's put in that situation where, like, clearly Matt Eberflus did not want to take him off the field. But in terms of what you thought you were getting at the beginning of the year, how much he played, and then what was the result, I don't know that anybody comes close.
Yeah, if he plays half the snaps he played, then maybe he's not the Cowboys fan punchline.
Yeah.
Because the opportunities to get torched like that.
Right. He would be splitting the time with somebody else who would be getting torched, so they could split the criticism.
As a part of that linebacker group being decimated.
But then they trade for Logan Wilson, and that doesn't really... Yeah. So in terms of impact on the field, too, that's the key thing in this whole discussion is how much did they also play? And so, like, for Paris Campbell, I mean, you can't even factor him in,
He's just catching a stray.
Yeah, he was catching stray.
And then other guys' injuries might have played a factor or whatever, but, like, Murray had to be out there at all times.
Yeah, I think on the field it's Murray, but I would cast my vote for Trayvon just because of all the off-the-field headache. And just I saw how many press conferences and all that stuff were dominated by just Trayvon questions, and even Schottenheimer was getting tired of that. So I think just the overall thing, I would put Trayvon. One that kind of flies...
Think about, like, in here, like, before we start recording this show, like, the cameras are adjusted, TVs are adjusted. It's never fallen on anybody. It's crazy. But sorry, go on.
That's true. It's a lot of stuff in here.
One that's flown under the radar was Khair Elam, because he was traded for, then he went through training camp and had a pretty good training camp.
Picked up that kid?
Yeah, he had a good training camp. The cornerback room was decimated, not doing well, and then he couldn't even make it through half the season. So yeah. I think that was a underrated one for how bad that was.
What about you, Kent?
Mingo. 1 reception for 25 yards.
Damn, Mingo.
Season. Sorry.
That's
Give
true.
me that 4th-round pick.
That's a good point, Kent.
Crazy.
When you factor in what was given up for him, he can be in the discussion. I'll just say, though, that if you knew that you were going to get the George Pickens that you got, you'd never even expect anything from Mingo anyway. That's the way I kind of went through the season, is the more Pickens was balling, I was like, there's just really not an opportunity for Mingo to really do anything. But when you factor in last season, what they gave up to get him, there had to be more than what they got.
Yeah, I think we had talked about this during the season as well. Like, just give me what Cedric Wilson gave you that 1 year. Just even that as a number 4, whatever. Because if you're going to say it's Lamb, Pickens, Tolbert, which Lamb was out for part of the season as well, which I don't think Mingo was healthy at that time or wasn't playing. But whatever, just give me what Cedric Wilson gave you that 1 year.
Yeah.
one catch is crazy.
We don't sweat it. We got Flanoy. We're good.
That's right.
Looks like I had the deciding vote here, though, because Mingo, Murray, and Diggs have one. Because I think the Joneses are responsible for 49% of Trayvon Diggs' issues this year. Kenneth Murray Jr., you're the winner of the LVP, the least valuable player. Let's move on to really, the Jerry's always just kind of build to the two big awards of the night.
Always.
And we will start here with the Jerry Jones Circumcised Mosquito Moment of the Year. We take you to January 7th, where Jerry has some casual fun with the United States overthrow of the Venezuelan government.
Jerry, you've intimated, outright said that you were the one who hired Matt Eberflus. Moving forward to the next coordinator, will Schottenheimer get to hire his own coordinator?
Trump just said it. I'm running. Venezuela. Seriously. Shotty had everything to do with hiring Matt Eberflus last time, and that's not done as a negative. It had no way in the world he's here if Shotty didn't want him here.
The Stephen Hot Mic laugh is great, but in both of the iconic times, that this is one of them, but the other one, the Mike McCarthy, I just wanted the job. You get the Stephen Jones, kind of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have laughed at that.
Yeah, you say that, but when I get it on both of those cases, I was more of this is a joke. I know it's a joke. I hope others do too. But if they don't, let me laugh here to kind of fill it in.
Yeah.
Yes. So that people know that he was kidding.
Jerry, yeah.
Yes. And that he doesn't think of the defensive coordinator position like it's Venezuela.
Well, on this one, I just think like he laughed before the punchline ever hit, right? Like he laughed before Jerry said Venezuela.
What did Jerry say first, though?
Trump just said it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and that's the start.
So how serious are you
laughing.
going to be on that?
But then, like in my head, I can imagine Stephen going, because at the time, the jury's still out. Oh, I wonder if people are going to react in a negative way to us overthrowing the Venezuelan government.
So throw in a laugh track real quick.
Throw in a laugh track.
Kind of soften it.
But that's where you get the relief laugh, or the kind of like, oh, laugh. I don't know. Kind of funny. There's a moment one. We have 2 clips of audio for nominee number 2 for the Jerry Jones Circumcised Mosquito Moment of the Year. Jerry on Landman. Here's part 1.
It was good.
Well, they didn't give me enough time on it. My best scene was when I was talking to, what's his name, laying up there in the bed. I said, the good news is that they say you're going to live. And so don't make me have to come up here and visit with my rubber glove and get you out of that bed. Now, they took that out, and I thought it was the best scene in the whole thing.
Yes.
Great Stephen laugh there, too.
It's funny, though, just to give you a little behind the scenes off of after that happened, Jerry will do like a walk-off. And so it's like me and I think it was like Todd Archer and Christy Scales walking with Jerry back through like the tennis courts. He was going back to his office. And Christy asked about John Hamm, who that's obviously he's talking about, was laying up in that bed. And it was funny the way that Jerry goes, yeah, that's right, John Hamm. See, I mix these names up all the time. I forget names all the time. So and that was right in a time when he was getting criticized a lot for mixing up Micah and Michael Irvin and stuff like that. And obviously he forgets a lot of people's names. So it was funny that he did circle back to John Hamm. Yes, exactly. I know him. We've watched games together and stuff like that. I just couldn't think of his name in the moment or whatever like that. So yeah, what's his name up in the bed?
Here's the second part from Jerry and Landman.
I will say this, that it was a great pleasure to work with those guys that were there. And one of them, Billy Bob, he was raised about 30 miles from where I grew up in Arkansas. And his dad was a great coach, one of the greatest legendary baseball coaches ever. And he thought he was going to be a great baseball player. So you can imagine what our days were like. I spent about 6-7 hours doing that, believe it or not. And what we talked about baseball, and it was so funny. He said, I saw it wasn't going to work on the baseball thing, and I'd spent some time in the California leagues playing, and he said, I had another good guy that was a top director. And he said, "You're too ugly, Billy Bob, to be a major actor." But he said, "You could make one heck of a character actor." And he said, "That's what you ought to be." And that's how he ended up going that way. But really, really good experience. And no, to be very candid with you, I didn't keep up with it and don't even know where those nominations are or what have you. I'm sure you'd have seen it if something like that had happened.
I think he was asked about, could you be up for an Emmy for this? So
Yeah, I
he
guess
thought he was
yeah.
nominated for an Emmy and just didn't know about it.
Yeah.
That would be amazing if he was nominated for an Emmy.
I just got so
Like,
much
oh, yeah,
going
that
on
makes
right
sense.
now. I don't even know.
That makes
Was I nominated for something? Oh. Some type of peace award? What was it?
And here's the last one for the Jerry Jones Circumcised Mosquito Moment of the Year. January 26th, this one quite recently. And this was kind of a wild claim that he had.
That's my goal, to be retired in the NFL as the owner that won the most Super Bowls. We've got 3. How many more do I have to go as a single owner? Bob's got how many? 6? So I've got
work to do.
Got work to do. I got work to do.
Yeah.
When Saad, being the former Patriots fan that he was, when's the last time Bob won a Super Bowl? This is a serious question.
2019.
2019. With as much as Jerry talks,
Or 2018, sorry. 2019 year.
Yeah, 2018 season.
with as much as Jerry talks over the last 5 years, you think he just put that in his back pocket, was going to save it for some random end of the season press conference? If that was his goal after the last Patriots Super Bowl win, he would have been saying that then. There's no way that all the interviews, all the time he talks, that he would have saved that for 5-6 years later. And now Bob's got a chance to get another one.
Yeah. Now, Bob didn't get into the Hall of Fame, Saad. What's the rub on that?
I mean, I honestly don't think that owners really should necessarily get in that easily. If Bill Belichick didn't
I
get
agree.
in, Robert Kraft shouldn't have got in.
What do you think the rub is on that, KT?
I just think we had to get L.C. Greenwood and Roger Craig in.
I also didn't know if that was if there was some undertone there.
Were
with
they-
Robert Kraft, what's the rub on that?
No, were they were they in the same category, the voting category?
Yes.
Okay.
Kraft
So
and
yeah,
Belichick.
we had to get Roger Craig and L.C. Greenwood and Ken Anderson in. That's why. That's the rub.
Can you just imagine being them right now? Where they're like, I mean, we're happy to be in, but like, this is really getting kind of crazy. Like,
Yeah.
this is what we're going to be remembered for. Like, this is going to overshadow our entire careers.
What was the biggest Robert Kraft issue of the week? Not getting in, or the number of times he's in the Epstein files?
Ah,
It's a
Oof.
fair question. Granted, if you type my name
Probably
in there,
more upset about the.
There's
not
plenty
getting
in
in the Hall
Robert
of Fame.
Kraft's past that
Yeah.
are troublesome.
it's probably him not getting in the Hall of Fame. I think if you Googled right now, Robert Kraft, I think that would come up before the Epstein file stuff. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Especially because there's only 2 people in contention for that. It's going to be
Right.
Kraft or Belichick versus there's like a
Just
million
put his
people.
name. Don't put anything else.
just Robert Kraft,
Oh, yeah. Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. How about that?
There
That's
you
what
go.
we care
All
about
right.
in this country.
All right. It
Journalism,
is.
folks.
Football is about all we care about. We're good.
Yeah, that's okay. He's in there. What about the football part?
Okay, so there we go. We've got Jerry and his comments after the United States overthrew the Venezuelan government. Jerry on Landman, or Jerry wanting to pass Robert Kraft to be the owner with the most Super Bowl wins. Let's start with you, Kent.
Jerry Landman for 2 reasons. Billy Bob, the emphasis on Bob, I like, and spending an entire day with John Hamm and just being so rich that it completely exits your brain on even the guy's name. So, yeah.
Okay, John.
Yeah, I have to agree. And I enjoyed the episode. I enjoyed that entire first season, to be honest with you. Second one, I'm kind of falling off on, but
There's a pancake scene that's very questionable, I've heard, but I
Yeah.
don't watch the show.
and I don't know. I like the authenticity of it. I don't think Jerry was doing much acting there. That was pretty much Jerry being
Yeah.
Jerry talking about his own life. So, I mean, any of them are fine. I don't think that they're some of those other categories. I thought there was a clear number one, but here I don't feel that way. But I'll go Landman.
Yeah, I'll go Layman too. And if I'm gonna offer some write-ins here, it would be, John mentioned it. It was him just mixing up Micah with Michael
Yeah.
so often throughout the whole thing, but especially in the post Micah trade press conference. That was even more just how many times. And I remember in that press conference, it became even more confusing because Michael Irvin was offering his thoughts and was talking about the topic as well. So you didn't, at one point, a reporter had to like clarify and was like, wait, Michael or Micah, just because.
No. That's not how it happened. What happened is that he was being asked, poorly asked question by a reporter.
That's right.
And so the way Jerry responded, and Steven had to step and go, he talked about Michael. That was cut up, and then that was the thing that was put on like national shows and stuff that he couldn't, whatever. It's like, no, it was a poorly asked question about Michael Irvin's podcast.
Yeah.
And it's like, my whole thing with Jerry Jones, he gives you so much to be critical of him that I always, whenever anybody just tries to cut corners, especially people that we know,
Sure.
I get so annoyed by it because I'm like, guys, it's not that difficult. If you just fast forward 5 minutes, he'll give you something else that's interesting. You don't have to try and clip it to make it into this TMZ thing.
Yeah. That's right. That was the thing. But just the fact that those two names were so confusing throughout the whole saga was probably one thing for me with him on that. But yeah, overall, I would say the Landman stuff is what gets my vote.
All right, Landman for the win. That's your Jerry Jones Circumcised Mosquito Moment of the year. Did he mention the circumcised mosquito on Landman? I don't know. All right, final.
No, I feel like he was asked about it not too long ago.
Final category of the Jerrys before we get to the final pick of the year. The Salted McGriddle, awarded to the most on-brand, wild-ass cowboy moment of the year. Here are your nominees. Micah Parsons laying on a training table during a preseason game. Number 2, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens' first series suspension versus the Raiders in everything that you know. Number 3, the Trayvon Diggs mystery head injury. Number 4, I've got multiple arrests. This is, there's a lot of names to throw in here on this one. Greg Hardy, Kelvin Joseph. How about Kevontae Turpin, Jadeveon Clowney 2 days before he signed, Donovan Ezeraku. Just kind of lumping all those together. Honestly, not a bad year. And and then the last one, if you've got any write-ins, fire away. Jaden Blue misses time due to his Gucci cleats. What is your who is your winner of the Salted McGriddle for the most wild-ass cowboy moment of the year?
So for me, in the moment, it wouldn't have been this, but some things that have transpired since have made it for me. But it is Micah laying on the training table. And I say that because since that's happened, Jerry Jones has brought that up on his own about how that pissed him off. And after it had happened and they traded Micah, there was a press conference that night. And I asked Jerry and Steven how much things like that impacted the move. And they blew it off. And I think Steven was the one that said to me that it was, no, this is pro football. Like that type of stuff doesn't, whatever, like that doesn't factor in. And I was just kind of like, all right, that's fine, whatever. So then when Jerry said he was on the Stephen A. Smith show and he just brings up, he was talking to DeMarcus Ware and Michael Irvin about leadership.
In front of people at Texas Live.
Full crowd there, and brings up, and he's like, and these two guys would never lay on a damn training table in front of 1 million people or whatever like that. When I was listening to that, that was like such a moment for me. I was like, I knew it. I knew that pissed him off.
We were sitting next to each other, and I told John, I was like, because I know John had mentioned that before, and yeah, that was.
I knew for him to sit there as long as he did, whatever it was, 5-10 minutes, that there's no way that Jerry liked that, and that it's just one of those signature like Cowboys type things that you just don't see from other teams. Now, some of those other ones are very good, but to me, that one will be one that I remember well beyond just this season. It might be my most memorable moment from this season.
Yeah, it's like if you were covering the Bucks when Antonio Brown just took off his shirt and jumping jacks his way off the field. Like it
just didn't feel like at the time, like John said, like that would have that much gravity.
Yeah, maybe not, but even after the game,
there's no reason that anybody should have believed that it would have that much impact in the moment, because this remains the only time that Jerry's ever traded a star player.
Yeah.
Like, it, as ugly as that got, as ugly as the Micah sitting up against the tower that Jerry watches training camp in, and Micah going from different position groups, like jersey half on, half off, no shoes on at training camp. I was like, it's just all performative. This will get figured out. And even up until that night that, when that move gets made, you don't think it's ever going to happen because you're like, Jerry's going to ultimately give in because he always has. Yeah. And so it's added more weight to it because of, in the moment, yes, I thought it was a big deal that Micah was doing that, but I'm like, it won't be that big of a deal because they'll iron everything out and they'll be hugging and it'll be this Jerry holding up a shirt with Micah laying on the table as they do the press conference that his deal has been done. And so just the fact that is now a factor in the fact that Micah Parsons, their best player, is no longer on the team.
Yeah, and the other reason why that one for me clearly gets the vote is something like Trayvon happening. If he was 2021 Trayvon in the middle of an 11 interception season, the Cowboys were booming and on their way to 12 wins, and that happens at that juncture of the season, that probably would have been the one for me. But it was a lost season. Trayvon was bad. Trayvon was hurt the whole year anyways, all that kind of stuff. He was already on his way out. The only write-in I would say is connected to the Micah one is Micah and Trayvon having that press conference on the field in training camp with Jerry. Like Jerry's like in the shot.
Yeah.
And you can see, and they're just standing there and it's just there was a very weird thing. And that's connected to the Micah stuff in general, but Micah on the table, definitely.
All right, but you can.
Trevon Diggs, undisclosed injury.
And the mystery surrounding it.
Yeah, no, that would be second for me for sure. Especially then when you hear what likely happened and then you hear the story also of his version of it. Yeah, it's
very Cowboys.
Yeah, in any other situation, if you can remove the Micah situation, that would have been it for me for sure.
I got to tell you, I am a sucker for a guy missing time due to his Gucci cleats giving him some blisters.
Also very Cowboys.
So that one didn't matter to me because I felt like that was just a Brian Schottenheimer wanting to take a shot at Jaden Blue, ha ha ha, funny thing because, I mean, I can't think of a practice that I've even seen back to. There's a few, but Dak's always wearing different cleats. You can't tell me that. I mean, he's just getting like the newest Jordans that are sent to him all the time, and you can't tell me there hadn't been a practice where he's like tells one of the equipment guys, "Hey, go back to my locker and get these. These new ones aren't whatever." And there is no way that Brian would ever bring that up. They would stop practice and be like, no, we're done. Dak's feet hurt or whatever. And it would never see the light of day. But because of Jaden Blue, and then obviously the way the whole season goes, he obviously hoped that he would be a big part of the offense. Who knows? The offense was already great without him. Who knows how good the offense could have been if he is the guy they thought he would be, just because what he adds that would complement Javonte Williams. And so I felt like he was taking that dig because of it was just Jaden Blue. There's just no way in this NFL that we cover nowadays that that's the only time that during a practice that a guy had to switch out cleats. There's just no way.
Yeah.
All right. So the award for the most on-brand wild-ass cowboy moment of the year, the salted McGriddle goes to Micah Parsons laying on the training table. Cuckoo.
We'll ship him a McGriddle.
And then getting his ass traded. All right. That does it for that. Let's go to picks. Guys, got John at 31 wins. I've got Sod at 29 wins.
In the clear, baby.
I've got Kent at 28 wins. I've got me at 27 wins. We will take a look at our season-long predictions next week. And we'll institute some type of point system into that. So,
but that won't be part of the Topeka thing.
It's going to be a part of the who's got to go to Topeka, but I think you're all safe, probably. All right. So here's the Super Bowl. Seattle, 4.5-point favorites. 4.5-point favorites. John, number one, who are you going with?
Seattle. I think New England is not completely there because of this, but a huge, I'll say 75% of the reason that they're in this position is because of the schedule that they had, the road they had. For them to win this game or even keep it within 4, I think Drake May has to play like an MVP. And maybe he does. And that is possible. Yeah. He's probably going to finish second for the award this season. But I just think the way Seattle plays defense, how well Sam Darnold has been playing, I just think their confidence is super high right now. I would probably take them even at maybe 7. Okay. So, yeah.
Sod?
Yeah, I'll take Seattle with the caveat that just with everything that's gone broken right for the Patriots, it wouldn't shock me if something first quarter JSN is out for the game now or something, and then the Patriots just, it feels like that's how this whole season has gone. The regular season schedule is predetermined, and then after that, you get a just non-existent offensive line against the Chargers. You get Jared Stidham. You get C.J. Stroud, who couldn't even, throw a ball. It feels like things have just broken right for them at every step of the way. So if something like that happens, who knows? But aside from something like that, I would take Seattle just because I think they're more talented front to back. And I also think I hate the injury for Zach Charbonnet, but I'm kind of liking what it's kind of doing to Kenneth Walker and them having to really feature him more because I think he is a capable RB1 type guy that's split carries.
And there still is a chance that Darnold could turn into old Darnold.
Yeah.
It's technically not a home game for them. I mean, he's going to be familiar with the venue, but there's a part of me that has seen him, obviously, heck, just last year in some big moments, come up with just some awful performances where he did look like the guy seeing ghosts. But the way he's just played this season, it's hard for me to completely see him turning all the way back into that. I could see him maybe having like an interception and 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I just can't see him going, 3 interceptions, a fumble, and he's the reason they lose the game. I think that's almost the type of performance you would need for the Patriots to win.
What about you, Kent?
Yeah, Seattle. And potential prediction for MVP, DeMarcus Lawrence.
Okay.
That would be shocking.
He'd go get 3 sacks, and he guys got a chance to get it.
Get a big sack strip fumble.
Yeah. I'm taking New England and the points here. Even though they've had the worst offense in the playoffs, they've also had to play Denver and Houston back-to-back weeks. And half that Denver game, of course, in elements. What Saad said, things have broken right for them. Also, when Kent picked Seattle, I needed that to kind of try to catch him. But I was going to take New England and the points, too. I mean, I got enough points. The defense is really good. Weirdly, you're going to get like a Mac Hollins or a Kyle Williams, some spare wide receiver, is going to come through and make a play that you're not expecting. So I'm taking New England plus 4.5.
To be fair, that's like the entire Patriots wide receiver core is.
Well,
Diggs.
And Booty and
they're all number 2s.
Yeah,
they're all number 2s.
They're not the Avengers.
George Pickens would be the top wide receiver on that team.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And Vrabel will do a good job with them being the underdog. Yeah. Behind the scenes, he's not going to say anything publicly, but behind the scenes, I guarantee you that he's playing that up big time. That, why are we the underdogs here,
Yeah.
And it's easier to do that, too, when you are facing a Seattle team that it's not like they have Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes or somebody where obviously they're going to be the favorite. It's a team where I'm sure there's plenty of people in New England that look at it like, we can beat these guys.
It is fascinating that this is if Seattle does win, Mike McDonald being the first defensive play caller in NFL history to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
And I want to do a couple Super Bowl prop bets. We won't put any points on these. What will be higher, Stephon Diggs' number of receptions or the number of kids that he has?
How many kids does he have?
6.
Definitely
so
kids.
We're stopping now. This has nothing to do with how many kids he's going to have in the future.
Yeah.
It's just what he has
Cardi
now.
B is about to get,
So that's the 7th?
totally pregnant, right?
We're not
going to count
They
that.
don't have a kid?
We're going to say 6. No, they might. I don't really know. I just know 6.
Well,
if the Patriots win, then...
Well, no, I just know that I know I'm reading what Vegas is telling me.
All right,
and Vegas
6.
is not giving a big bio on
I'm going to
Cardi B up or not.
I don't think he's going to get over 6, so no.
Yeah, no, I don't either. But he might get another kid if they win the game and check back in 9 months.
Will a Bad Bunny expose a nipple at halftime?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
I think you might see a nipple.
I think he's going to go shirtless a little bit, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking like Janet Jackson type thing.
Well, I mean...
Oh, expose somebody
Just
else's
flash.
nipple?
Yeah,
Just flash.
that's what I thought you were talking about.
I think that's a possibility too, honestly.
Okay.
It's like
There'll be a lot of women
I
grinding.
don't think he's doing that.
But
Yeah.
he might,
Yeah.
because typically you wouldn't have to worry about being the Super Bowl halftime show and competing against Kid Rock on another channel.
True.
So he might do that to bring in some viewers.
Bring in some viewers.
Yeah.
There will be a bunch of women grinding on Malo Conejo, so watch out for that. That's Bad Bunny.
Wow.
For all of you English speakers out there. Which artist will be played first going into break? Okay, bumper music. Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, or Soundgarden? Seattle bands.
Going with Nirvana.
Yeah, that's got to be the popular pick, right?
Vegas odds actually has Pearl Jam as chalk.
Okay. Well, I'll go
Pearl
with
Jam are
Nirvana.
highly involved with the Seahawks. You know, they show up at the games. They'll do the whatever they do with the 12s there and stuff. So
Yeah,
maybe that's why. But
Chris Pratt's doing something with Seahawks.
he's doing their little, the voiceover thing.
Yeah,
Bon
yeah.
Jovi doing
Okay.
the one for the Patriots.
That's not surprising.
I mean, dude, it's
Bon Jovi's the lead for the Patriots.
yeah.
Not
He's doing
shipping up to Boston.
Yeah, he's the one doing the voiceover thing when they do their. they do the big.
Oh, are you talking
video.
about when the team runs out?
Yeah.
Like their picked song?
No,
It can't be that because there's no way the players are picking.
No, like
This smells like Teen
They just
Spirit.
do a big
first
video.
commercial break.
yeah, just
Oh,
talk-
I got you.
yeah.
I got you. I
Yeah,
got
it's
you.
like a tribute video to the team.
This is on Fox, correct?
It's on NBC.
Yeah.
Okay, NBC. Yeah.
Because I saw there was a
Um,
prop bet for how many times Chris Collinsworth is going to mention Patrick Mahomes.
Many times.
Yeah.
There'll be many.
I
times.
also saw there's a prop about if they will talk in the booth about the color of Sam Darnold's hair.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's not very good odds. It doesn't sound like they're going to talk about it.
It isn't
There's
fun
also
something they
right in
did.
there too, right around that same prop bet is the will they or not, and it was not good odds, and it surprised me. Will they or won't they bring up the seeing ghosts? And it was not in good odds that they would, and that surprised me because
Yeah.
if he's balling, how do you not bring that
I
up?
kind of think they could bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be.
I will always remember. I think you were there too, like standing by Dak's locker in a walk off, and how pissed he was about that they didn't get his back and that they aired that quote. He was real pissed. He's like, we're mic'd up. They're supposed to work with us. Like you should never put something like that out there.
I mean,
Why are all the options Seattle related though?
I know that's what I was
Like, why are
wondering
we
too.
Well, no, I'm just.
Where's Boston or Aerosmith or something
Okay,
like that?
here's your Boston one, just so you know.
Okay.
More than a feeling.
Which artist will be played first going to break? Elton John or Queen?
Those are Boston? No,
I guess.
they're from the UK.
Yeah. Well, that's a Vegas
Okay.
thing. Maybe they're going New England.
Roast
Maybe
these
they're thinking
fools,
England.
Kent.
New England. Yeah, they got confused.
Who's your Boston band of choice?
It's got to be Aerosmith or Boston, right?
Ugh, Boston.
Sadly.
Ugh.
Damn. KT did not like Boston at
Yeah,
all.
I think
that-
Boston
I don't know
sucks,
that
dude.
you've ever been more disgusted about a musical act than when he just said Boston.
I'm not a big
Fake
Boston
band.
fan.
Man.
Not a real band.
Not a real band. They're really
What
not.
about did you say Aerosmith?
Yeah. Which Patriots celebrity fan will be shown first?
Ben Affleck.
Okay, that is second in the odds.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
That's third in the odds.
What's his name? Wahlberg.
Wahlberg first in the
Yeah.
odds. Then John Krasinski, fourth
Okay.
spot. John Cena, Bon Jovi. Elizabeth Banks, seventh. Steven Tyler, Bill Burr, Conan, Elton
I
John.
have Elizabeth Banks over Steven Tyler.
Yeah,
Steven
that's cool.
Tyler's that's a
odd.
good bet. I like that because it's lower down on the list and I could see him being there.
Which Seahawks fan will be shown
Rainn
first?
Wilson.
Rainn Wilson was second on the list.
Nice.
It's an NBC show, yeah, so that does make sense.
I just know he's done the pregame,
Yeah.
like raise the flag there.
Yeah.
He's probably there's somebody else that I can't think of that's done that too before. That's a pretty big name. Oh, it's gonna bother me.
Bill Gates show up and do it?
Don't think so.
Don't think
Oh,
Bill's been
dang.
there.
I'm going to go from least likely to most likely. Bill Nye, my guy Joel McHale,
Okay.
which is very
He might have been the
possible,
one I
'cause
was
he's
thinking
always
of. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
around.
That's a good one. Yeah.
But his show's on Fox, so NBC probably won't get to him, but he'll be there. Eddie Vedder.
How do you not have Jim and Dwight together? Just blow this whole thing out of the
I know,
water.
right?
Like who wins on
and
that?
Use it to promote the paper that no one's watching.
Mhm.
I like this.
It's paper. The paper's great. Macklemore.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, he's another one.
Of
Yeah, yeah,
course.
for sure.
Yeah.
No Ryan Lewis?
No Ryan Lewis, just Macklemore.
I'm only a Ryan Lewis guy, so
Yeah.
if he's not there, I'm out.
Dave Matthews.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. That doesn't even register with me just because I've never seen him at a Seahawks game. So
From
other
South
people I've
Africa.
seen
Just
at the
lives in
game.
a
I think
$300,000
Macklemore is the
house in
most
Seattle.
synonymous for me.
Yeah.
Dave's done the flag thing before.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, I doubt
Okay,
it.
we're gonna have to find the footage. Go on.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Mm.
They've got Will Ferrell on here. I didn't think Will Ferrell was a Seahawks fan.
He's not. He's a Pete Carroll guy, and that's why
Okay, it's got
he rode
yeah,
with them
USC.
after. Yeah.
And then Chris Pratt is your first one,
Hmm.
which makes sense. He
Yeah.
promoted a bunch of crap, about to be in the Mario movie, all that stuff.
Yeah. I didn't think of him as Seattle, but okay.
Garfield?
Garfield.
Garfield himself?
That's enough. I do like this one. Hey, first touchdown celebration. A lot of options here.
Okay.
You can go with your classics. What do you think is the most classic?
Spike.
The spike. What is now? In terms of Vegas odds, this means it's the most popular one.
Gritty.
It's the gritty. He's right.
Still?
Which is surprising. Well, still, but also that it's lasted the test of time to be a
I can't
common
even remember
touchdown
somebody
celebration.
doing the gritty this season.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, that's his.
Well, I get that, but also,
But
I don't
also,
know.
he
Did
had
the
a terrible
Vikings
year.
did the Vikings play football this year? I don't remember. So
Dude, if you ever get bored, just go to the kitchen, do the gritty on your way there, and you'll kind of see how addicting it is.
yeah, cool. If it was 2024,
Number 3, the home run hit.
okay.
It's a good classic one.
All
I
this
think there's
depends
going to
on-
be
all
some
this-
type of gun involved.
Yeah. All this depends on who scores.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Watch the way they celebrate. I like that's
Yeah.
Personal foul.
The Lambeau Leap. Do you guys know what the squabble is?
yeah,
Like squabble up?
yeah.
Okay. The bow and arrow, the old Brandon Cooks.
I do love that.
What's LeBron? The powder?
Yeah, that's stupid.
The night? Steph
That's
Curry.
Steph Curry, yeah.
What's the Ronaldo? Just score and just take off running?
Slide. I don't know.
To slide.
We should know. It's the most
Oh,
popular
it's
sport in the
slide.
world.
The back flip or front flip. We got the Dirty Bird. Bring it
The
back.
Benson Boone.
The Icky Shuffle. John, could you just stand up and do the Lil Uzi for me? Because I'm not sure what
Oh.
that one is.
I've been on an elevator with Lil Uzi before, though.
Oh, yeah?
In New
He
York.
just had a
Louis
Dougie,
Vert?
John.
Yeah, it was just me and Dez, Lil Uzi, and 2 other reporters.
Did you ask him what was up? What's up,
No,
Lil Uzi?
I was in awe.
Because that last album was pretty good.
Yeah, no, this was like
No
3 or 4
small
years
talk?
ago.
How about that weather?
No,
Boy, it's going around a little bit. You notice that? Not you, no small talk?
no.
Dang, dude. The Key and Peele Pump, we should bring that one back. There's a lot of chances on this one.
That's a good one.
But that's enough. The Macarena is what I think someone should just break out into the Macarena. It's been 30 years
The
since the
Scarn.
Macarena came out. The Scarn, the Scarn, the Moonwalk. So there you go. That's enough. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Let's get the heck out of here, right?
Let's do it.
All right. There it was. The first annual Jerry's. As you can see, looks just like him. Just like him.
It's a Dundee Award.
Thank you to the Cowboys for giving us all this content all the time. John and Sod work over at The Athletic. Spoiler alert, Sod's got a big article coming out. Everyone needs to go check that out. Go take the Cowboys fan survey article. John's put that up. Always
Please
love
do
getting
that.
the results on that. I filled my form out today. So go check that out over at The Athletic. The Mad About Movies podcast is alive and kicking. They're still doing the thing. And also make sure you check out the Haymaker Network. We put up a little comedy sketch up for any people who are struggling with the Luka Doncic trade. It's called Lukaholics Anonymous. Go check that out on the Haymaker Network YouTube channel, if you will, and give it the thumbs up and subscribe to it. We would love it if you would do that as well. For John, for Sod, for Kent, I am Kevin. We'll see you next time on the One Star Cowboys podcast. Goodbye.
The One Star Cowboys Podcast. The One Star Cowboys Podcast. The One Star Cowboys Podcast. Presented by Haymaker. Presented by Haymaker. Presented by Haymaker.